All right, guys. Today we have Dave and Andrew Schlecht, and we are doing the Nikola Jokic draft, in which we draft the perfect team for Nikola Jokic using current NBA players, but there are two rules. Number one, they cannot be a player that has ever played or currently plays with Nikola Jokic. And number two, they can have never made an all-star game because as of now, Nikola Jokic has zero all-stars on his team. That being said, in order to decide the first pick, we always have a fun game of trivia. And Andrew, since you are the guest, you get the first guess at this trivia question. But the question
Okay.
I have for you is in Nikola Jokic's rookie season, who scored the most points for the Denver Nuggets?
Oh my gosh. His rookie season,
2015, 2016. That was the season.
15-16 Nuggets. Boy, there were some nasty Nuggets teams. Um, Points per game.
No, total
Um,
points. Total points.
Total points. Oh gosh. I don't know if that makes a difference. It might
That's
make a
hard,
difference.
but I
I was
appreciate.
thinking I was thinking it's Gallo, but that makes me hesitate because he usually didn't play 60 games or whatever.
You are correct, and he was the highest points per game, but he did not score the most points on that team that season. Dave, do you have a guess as to who it is?
Was it Will Barton?
It was Will Barton. But
Oh,
that's not the trivia question. That's not the trivia question. The trivia question today is how many points did Will Barton score that season? Whoever gets the closest.
Right, Reese?
Yeah, whoever gets the closest,
closest
without
to
going over wins.
closest to the pin. Uh, I'll guess 1,200 points.
Let's say 1,400 total points.
Okay, you guys both went severely over. So I'm gonna give the point to Andrew. He scored
Yeah.
1,178 points. So Andrew didn't go that far over, but Dave,
Not that far.
Dave,
Yeah,
you were a
yeah.
little
But
wild. Yeah.
wow.
So
Got it.
Andrew, you get the first pick of the draft. Who are you taking with the first pick of the Nikola Jokic draft?
This is so easy. This is like I was hoping I'd get the first pick because I knew how easy this would be for me. It's got to be Tyrese Maxey, the number one pick in the Nikola Jokic draft. He's
Okay.
a speedy point guard. He takes 7 threes a game. He's shooting lights out. Great passer, good defender, active, and he also honestly has a great attitude. And you know what? That helps when you have a great attitude. Look at the vibes around the Sixers right now. They are good because of Tyrese Maxey and how good he is. So simple.
Dave, is
That's
that who you would have taken number one?
no, it wasn't. But it was a very good pick. It was unfortunately my number 2 pick.
Oh.
So now I've got to go to the to my whiteboard and figure out who's available. But good pick, really great pick. You could see a lot of ways, especially with his speed and the pick and roll with Nikola Jokic. Woo. For me, Sam, this one's too easy. I'm going to take Victor Wembanyama because I have a center, but I need a rim protector. I need a defensive player of the year caliber big man to pair with Nikola Jokic. He also happens to be able to stretch the floor, got great vision, can dribble, can play inside out with Jokic. I think that this is the ideal pairing, not just for Jokic, but for Victor Wembanyama. It allows him to stay at the 4. Just a perfect number 1 pick of the number 1 pick.
So is this for this year that we're trying to win something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or is
I
this
think
moving
he
forward?
contributes to winning right now, especially when he's around high level players, which we haven't really seen him play with a lot of high level players. Let's be honest.
I saw him play some low level basketball last night in Oklahoma City.
Basketball. Oh my
So
God.
what's he stretching the defense for? He's shooting 28% from 3. It's like, go ahead, brother.
It's early. Early.
Maybe this was a draft for 3 years from now.
It's
We'd be
early.
good.
Okay. All right. Andrew, who do you want with your second pick?
It's my second pick. Need some shooting. Need some guys that are tough, some guys that are strong. So I'm going with Desmond Bane for my second pick. So we've got a pretty nice backcourt to go around Nikola Jokic. These guys both can really shoot the lights out. They take lots of threes. They shoot at a high level, and they're both like really strong-minded players to play around Jokic. I mean, we're already like winning the title already. I don't care who the rest of my team is. It's over.
I mean, kind of short. And I like Desmond Bane just fine as a defender. But I think you got to have a better one of the two guys up front just has to be a little bit better, especially with Jokic at center because of the way they Jokic defends, not the traditional drop back, play the rim sort of big. So, I mean, maybe you're thinking ahead and your four-man is going to be able to help with the rim protection. I'm not sure.
Have you seen my guy's biceps? I mean, come on.
Desmond Bane is also a dog, Dave. He's a dog.
Desmond Bane is a dog. I love Desmond Bane. I'm having to adjust my draft again because the list of really, really good players that have not made an all-star is shorter and shorter every year because of the injury exceptions and adding players. We're 18 players deep on these all-star rosters the last few years. So it's gotten tough.
We are at pick 2. We're already making excuses. This is awesome.
Oh, no. Listen, I'm just throwing this out there, but there's a theme for my team, and the theme is defense. I want all NBA level defenders. I want height. I want length. I want wingspan. I want standing reach. I want Jaden McDaniels. I now have the front court that is unstoppable defensively and can stop everything you can throw at it. We're talking like switching positions, guarding on the perimeter. My 3 and 4 guys are going to both be like all NBA defensive players potentially this year. I mean, it depends on how things go for Victor. And
come on, Dave, stop! You got to stop with that. That is not happening this year. I mean, he's good, but that is not happening this year.
Not defensive player of the year. I mean, he may get some all NBA defense nods.
Come on, Dave. Sure. No.
Yeah. Victor Wembanyama, way. We'll see. That defense is so bad.
No way, Jose.
But I'm it's so bad. Come on, selling here. But I've got now so much length, and Jaden McDaniels, I mean, a great player, can stretch the floor and shores up the stuff that I think is important when you have Nikola Jokic. It's not that he's not a good defender. This frees him up to go and do the stuff defensively that he's the best at. And then everyone, on the offensive end, every ship rises with Nikola Jokic. So, I mean, any sort of issues that we may have with McDaniels and Victor Wembanyama as far as offensive fit, I have no concerns whatsoever.
Dave, I got a quick question for you. Today, right now, in 2023, is Wemby and McDaniels better for Jokic than MPJ and Aaron Gordon today?
No.
So you're picking a lesser version of his team.
I mean, it's always going to be lesser. They're the world champs. I mean, this is, I think
not with my team. My team is not going to be lesser. Mine is going to be more right now.
MPJ has really come along this season, especially as a two-way player. And Aaron Gordon was a borderline all-star last year. Like, he could have been removed from this list for multiple reasons, but it's hard to compete with those sorts of guys. And these guys are young. I think Jaden McDaniels is amongst people who are paying attention and see that contract that he just got, is actually a pretty elite player. We know he's elite defensively. I think the offensive end, he's a little bit underrated. But I still can't put him above Aaron Gordon or MPJ. I mean, those guys are, that's Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon. So,
okay. All right. You go for it, Andrew. Who do you want with your third pick?
Here's the theme of the draft so far, you guys. Dave is drafting team theoretical. I'm drafting team good at basketball now. Okay. So I'm going to go with Mikal Bridges on the wing, and we are going to score 175 points a game because no one is going to stop the trio of Maxey, Bane, and Bridges out on the wing, and Jokic down low. I mean, they will score 2 points per 100 possessions, 2 points per possession every single time. It's just book it. Every single time, just every time. Boom, boom.
I do have
over.
Third pick, third excuse. I forgot about Mikal Bridges.
He's a great player, man. He can really score. So far, I think your team.
Sorry, I'm taking Cam Thomas next. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That did cross my mind. Cam did cross my mind.
I mean,
But
Mikal
yeah,
Bridges. I mean, there's not a lot of guys, two-way players in basketball that that are better than him that haven't made an All-Star. I mean, he
yeah,
could very well make an All-Star this year.
yeah. That's the theme of my team. Is like I've got guys. Bane's not going to make it because the Grizzlies stink, but Maxi's
but
going
he
to
might
make it.
Well, no, Bane might make it because Bane is good, and
He's
Jaren
really good.
Jackson's got a lot of funk on him, and someone from that team is likely to make the All-Star game. I think
But
Bane's got a good shot.
If they keep losing, though, they won't.
Maybe.
I mean, you gotta win to get one All-Star. But they're all All-Star caliber players today. Where like McDaniels is like on his way, Wemby is on his way, but like the three guys I have right now are like they could make it pretty easily.
Is Ja eligible to be in the All-Star game if he's voted in?
Let's hope so. Let's just vote for maximum chaos.
We got to get Ja in the All-Star game. Hey, back in Indiana too.
Hey, let's do it.
All right. My next pick again, to continue this theme, going some defense. Another guy who's an all NBA.
Hold on, let me guess before you say it. Cooper Flag. We're going Cooper Flag.
I'm going another guy who borderline all-star candidate here and there. Offense can sometimes come and go, but defensively 1 through 5. OG Anunoby.
Yeah.
3-and-D, trusty 3-and-D. Another guy who can switch every position. And all of a sudden, my wing and point of attack defense, pretty solid. Pretty solid. You got no complaints about OG.
I like OG. He's on my list. I'm a big OG guy. Yeah. He's awesome.
Is OG going to get traded this year, you think? I mean, they have to move him.
I like roll my eyes at any thought of the Raptors doing anything with their roster because should they? Probably not, honestly. I think they should trade Pascal Siakam, keep OG, re-sign him. He's young enough where he can mesh with this group. So I would say no, but the Raptors are one of the most annoying teams in the league.
And we just watched them with Van Vliet last year.
Yeah.
Carry him into the summer and then lose him for nothing. It just, at a certain point, when do you have to start winning? You know, if you're running an organization. But I guess good marketing though.
Yeah.
I wonder if the Nuggets would ever trade for OG and just build Dave's super team right here.
I mean, that was a possibility, actually. I had heard in the last 2 seasons, that the Nuggets had sort of kicked the tires on that. Memphis made an offer that was reported to be 4 first-round picks. And think about how different that team would be if it had OG Anunoby right now. I mean, that's a team that defensively, I mean, it should be better than they are. But with OG and Jaren Jackson, it's a much more formidable defense than without OG. That team would be insane. But I just don't see how Toronto gets away with letting a guy walk for nothing again.
Well, we're done with hypotheticals. Let's get back to reality. With team reality, Andrew, who would you take with your last pick of the draft?
Team reality is taking Franz Wagner. Great passer, another like secondary creator. It's like we have the best creator in basketball on the team. Like what he needs is shooting, secondary creation, guys that know how to play with one another. Like just the thought of Franz playing with Jokic is insane. Like those guys would be so good next to one another. And again, like offensively, this team would just destroy everybody with Maxey, Bane, Bridges, Franz Wagner, and Jokic. I mean, the passing would be outrageous. The shooting is outrageous. You can build a great defense, but this team is going to score. They are going to score. Yeah, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, I don't know about nothing. I mean, you can defend,
nothing,
but
nothing.
But the thing is, Jokic, like with Jokic, you've almost reached peak offense. As long as you've got shooters around him, guys who can move, and you give him one pick and roll partner. I mean, you're gonna have like a 120 offensive rating when he's out there. The big key is getting that solid defense so that when you're putting up the 120 offensive rating, you're not giving up 130. And I think that, when I'm looking at your team, man, I just see a lot of those 140 points against nights. And I just don't know if you guys are gonna find that sustainable come playoff time. If you got to play my team 82 games, we're gonna win 50 of them just because we can defend every single night.
Dude, there's the thing. When you're playing young guys, you just lose dumb games. That just happens. Just ask any fan of any young team in the league. You're just losing dumb games. I've got vets. That's a big piece. McDaniels is still pretty young. He's still pretty young.
Are we just gonna ignore that this has to be the only draft in like the history of the world where Franz Wagner gets taken over Paolo?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
What other type of draft do we have to make where Franz gets taken over Paolo?
Any other one? Any other ones that care about basketball? Ones that care about
winning games today? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
All right. So, to the points that you made about Wagner and his ability to play with the ball in his hands, shoot it well, knows how to play basketball, professional scorer, even. I'm going to go with Jalen Brunson. I've got the defense. Now I've got the offense. I've got a water bug point guard who has a killer mid-range game, can shoot the three ball, can operate in the pick and roll with Nikola Jokic, a very good cutter. So you can actually see where his inside game is going to benefit from playing with a 7-foot hub like that. And I think Jalen Brunson is another guy similar to Maxey. Well, we'll see about Maxey, but Bane in particular, who I think is on the cusp and could get serious all-star buzz this year, and especially because he's a Knick, right? I mean, he was great last year, had that nice run in the playoffs that was a little bit curtailed because of the ankle injury. But he's had a hell of a start to this season. I think that if he made the all-star game this year, would you be surprised?
No, not surprised. He hasn't had the greatest start to the season, but somebody from the Knicks is going to make the all-star
Somebody's
team.
got to do it. It's not going to be Julius Randle.
It's not going to be Randle this year. Next year's Randle's year. But this year, I think Brunson could do it. Yeah, I like that. Brunson's really good.
Dave, is Brunson a better fit for Jokic than Jamal Murray, or would you rather see him play with?
Oh, no. Jamal Murray. I think Jamal Murray is a better player than Jalen Brunson, just straight up. But between some more craftiness, I think off the dribble, that Jamal Murray is able to get to things that Jalen Brunson can't, because Jamal Murray is big. Like, Jamal Murray is a much bigger player than it looks like when you see him on TV. He's got a pretty good post game, actually, that is not bad for him. But the range that he shoots from as well is the other thing. Quick release. I mean, it's not Steph Curry, but it's not Steph Curry. I mean, he really is as close to Jokic playing with Steph Curry as I think we could find.
So I have one question for both of you guys. Are either of the teams that you guys drafted better than the current Denver Nuggets right now?
Without a doubt, yes. I
think, mine definitely. Yeah, I agree with Andrew. Mine is definitely better.
There's a little hesitation there, Dave.
And, I had to really think about it. I was crunching the numbers internally. I think that I'd put my Jokic team 1, existing Nuggets 2, Andrew's Jokic team 3. If I was doing power rankings,
Theoretically, yes. Yes. We're existing in this theoretical realm. Sure.
In Dave's world. Dave, that's number one, I was very shocked you didn't take Kevon Looney. That was my pick. I was like, Dave's got to take Kevon Looney.
I will say, so the tricky part about Kevon Looney is that Kevon Looney defensively is more like Jokic than different, because he's not a guy who's going to play above the rim defense. Great. I mean, we would own the glass with those two guys. He can't really switch on the perimeter all that well. He can do it against bigger guys like Harden, but if he was out there against Steph Curry, I mean, we saw Victor switch on Steph Curry, and it was pretty impressive. Whereas I don't think Looney could stay in front of Steph like that, and he doesn't have the wingspan and reach to make up for it. So as much as I love Loon, I had to go Victor Wembanyama. I mean, I had to go Victor Wembanyama for the clicks anyway. I mean, it was got to put him in the video.
And that being said, I was shocked that Andrew didn't take Chet.
So if I had gotten the number 1 pick, I was going to take Wemby. And because I assumed Andrew would go, well, Chet would also work perfectly. I mean, that's
I thought Andrew was gonna take Chet number 1.
I like Chet. I would rather have guys that are a little bit more mobile on the perimeter to just kind of just churn around Jokic.
mm-hmm.
And I like Chet as a 5. I think that his future in this league is as a 5. And so I don't necessarily want to stack guys that should be playing the 5 next to one another. Especially defensively, I don't know that I love Chet being a guy that has to have to defend on the perimeter because you can't do anything else with Jokic. So I'd rather have a more mobile guy like Wagner and Bridges and guys like that rather than Chet out there. So that's why the Thunder aren't playing him next to a big. I think that they know that from the beginning is that he needs to play with guys that can move around him and that can utilize what he does on offense the best.
Well, I have one final question for you guys. Let's ignore the rules for a second. Any current NBA player, who would make the best duo for Nikola Jokic?
Easy. Steph Curry. It's Steph Curry.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Steph Curry and any player might be the best duo you can come up with because of the stuff that Steph does without the basketball. But then when you add in his pick and roll ability, I mean, you put him with Jokic. I mean, it's just you couldn't stop it. It's and you could say the same for Steph and Giannis, Steph and Embiid. And you can't say Giannis and Jokic because that actually is a way to stop that. I mean, it'd be hard. Don't get me wrong, but you could stop it. But it's got to be right. Or Shea.
I tend to. Shea would be good, but I think what you really need is somebody that's going to take a ton of threes. Steph is taking 12 and a half threes a game.
Yeah,
this season.
That's my average pickup game.
That's
Listen,
what you need.
The best offense that anyone could come up with is Steph Curry shooting 100 threes a game. That is going to give you more points than any other way. And so you put Steph Curry with a guy like Jokic, who not only is a shooter that you have to guard and a great pass, he passes guys open, and Steph cuts himself open. So now you're talking 2 guys working together. I mean, he would be open in ways that we've never seen before because the way that these guys operate, the IQ would be on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
I mean, this is why, like, Jamal Murray is a smart player. He's a pretty quick player. He's a pretty good 3-point shooter. He's a pretty good mid-range shooter. You could see if you take all of those things that he does well and you crank them all up to 100 like Steph Curry, it's Jamal Murray, like with superpowers, essentially. So whatever those 2 guys do together, he could do that with Steph Curry, bigger, better, from farther away from the rim. And it's just unstoppable. It would break the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, they said the same thing about Wemby, and he got like 7 points last night?
8. Thank you very much. We're not that we're keeping track, but I also had 14 rebounds, man.
I did see that. Yeah. Rebounds don't exist, remember? That being said,
I'm shortchange my French brother.
Well, let us know which team's better in the comments, and let us know if any of them actually beat the Denver Nuggets in a real game of basketball. Yeah,
we got to start doing these in 2K.